And just as soon as I said it, the water flowed right out from underneath it.
What's up, folks? Welcome to Foreign and Domestic. It is good to be here. Good to see everyone up in the side chat popping already. With that being said, before we get started, we're going to get started right. Alum Company, would you start us off, sir, properly?
Oh, what the fuck, Jesus Christ. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, indivisible, one republic, something for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You put me on the spot, and I fuck it up.
All right. Alan, what's going on, brother?
Oh, man. Well, I've been trying to recoup from my last week. And also trying to get some minor adulting and editing done, which my operating system hasn't wanted me to do. It's been fighting me the entire way. But I mean, right now I can tell you that currently we got Garage Guy 879 out there, Keith Gregory, New York Outcast, Reloading from the Hot Pot, the Tactical FUD, and the YouTube Auditor. Go eat a bowl of dicks. Yeah, it had a great week last week. It's been a good weekend, but have yet to be able to get anything uploaded because of this damn machine that I'm trying to work on. But other than that, doing great.
Awesome, good deal. Eric, what's happening, man?
Just going from what used to be nice weather instantaneously to absolute shit here in the Northland, eh?
Yeah, you the other day, didn't you?
Yeah, we got not right where we are. We usually luck out because we're real close to Lake Superior, and there's like this little band of support that we get around us. It happens pretty much all the time. I'll get a phone call from a friend of mine. Yeah, I'll pay if you can come help me remove snow from my roof, and I'm like, the hell are you talking about? It's like raining here, and there's 21 inches, 8 minutes, an 8-minute drive from my place. And that's pretty much the other day, just up over the hill, they had more than 2 inches, and we had just enough weight to make you realize that things are going down, and I'm trying to get wanted to get a few things fixed on my truck before I hang the plow back on the front end, and I don't think it looks like I'm up against it. I've already had to abandon some outside house projects. Thankfully, I got the big one done this year and got the front handrails finished on our stairs, so nobody has to die walking up the stairs anymore. Other than that, for us, it's definitely the story is going to be the weather. I have a bad feeling that this is going to be a lousy year for us. But don't worry, we're ankle grabbers. I'm grabbing every one of your ankles, and I'm bringing you with.
I was waiting for it.
Other than that, you do what you do. Yeah. Until this great medium known as YouTube, I never even realized what a shift there was. I tell this story a few times, but I still think about it. I remember one time we were in a video chat after a Locked and Loaded episode, and it was back in the days where Alaric 357, Alex, where are you? He was on the show, and afterwards in the chat, and we used to some nights with Ed, we might be on until the sun came up the next day, sitting and shooting the shit. And I remember one night, it's like I'm looking out my backyard, and I had over 4.5 feet of snow, and I'm looking at Alex, and he finally goes, What the hell are you looking at?" I go, "Is that an air conditioner on in your window?" He goes, "Hell yeah, it is. It's like 89 degrees here." And I like grabbed the camera and spun it around to show that you could only see half of my garage. And it's just, you take so much for granted, like us and our awesome paved streets in comparison to some of you people. You just don't realize how great we have it, where it freezes and frosts and pushes up and comes back down, and you have a lousy mayor. But other than that, that's a side story.
Your streets are awesome, man. I've been on them.
Yeah,
I know exactly how much they rock and roll.
Oh yeah, when you get to the Minnesota border, they hand you a bite guard so you don't hurt yourself in your car while you're driving on the roads. As a matter of fact, the rule of thumb is if you're a cop and it's 2:00 in the morning and the car in front of you is going perfectly straight, they're fucked up, man. They're drunk. Because if you're sober, you're going to dodge the potholes so you don't destroy your car.
That's pretty much it. It's ridiculous. That's for sure. Absolutely ridiculous. Chris, what's going on, man? Haven't seen you in a while.
Just working, living life, trying to do as best I can and Brandon's America. So yeah, I'm still breathing, so I'm doing something right. Other than that, no like major news. So just day-to-day shit, really.
Gotcha. Daniel, what's going on, man?
Just living life, not making videos, just setting Tracy up and helping her get out there, enjoy time in the woods, and her not shooting the deer she's seeing, and drinking coffee. But hey, thanks for the invite, and hi everybody in the chat. Hey Jamie, how you doing?
Try again. Hey Daniel.
Hi Jamie.
You have a good service this morning?
Yeah, we had a baby dedication there, and it's like, boy, a whole lot of people I hadn't seen in a long time showed up.
I know that's
Hey,
right.
if I knew you were sacrificing a baby, I would have showed up, man. That's cool.
Dedication, not sacrifice. Come on, man.
Oh.
One of the when I was doing the youth group thing there, one of the young guys that was in there, all married now and had a little baby there, and boy, seeing a whole bunch of the people that used to be young teens and now it's just a bunch of young married couples. You know you're old when you see that coming.
Yeah, I don't know about old. I'll be 40 next year. It's pretty old, right, guys?
That's a babe.
Yeah.
Some old man quit back.
Unsubbed.
Yeah. Unsubbed.
Although when you do hit 40, you're allowed to make a lot more excuses and just do fucking whatever you want.
I pretty much do that now.
I was gonna say, don't tell him that. He's just gonna make more and more and more like crazy.
So you guys need to recognize that Baby Dedication Sunday is one of your pastor's least favorite days because invariably not only do they spit up, but they projectile. Every pastor has at least one towel, usually one that's wet and one that's dry, under the podium on Baby Dedication Sunday. Am I wrong, Daniel?
You're wrong. That must be a Southern thing because these Yankee babies, they are perfect. And, they sleep during the whole singing and everything like that and the announcements. And then they do the baby dedication. And then they wake up and steal the show without screaming. This was the most well-behaved young person that I had ever seen during a baby dedication. And you know what they say? you had to have kids, they're going to be opposite of their daddy. This kid was well behaved.
And the truth comes out, Scott. See,
I'm not sure what the teething part is, but yeah, you just give them bourbon.
did you only have one, Daniel? You only
Yeah,
had
there was
one
just
baby?
there was just they have a baby whenever the parents ask to do a baby dedication, they get right on it and just boom, it happens. They don't have a whole bunch at one time.
No,
It's
man, we have it once a year, and it's lined up all the way across the platform. We have anywhere from 10 to 20 babies at a time, and that's why they got two towels.
Oh, no wonder they hate it down there. I mean, you're trying to do that many little infants at once. That's just asking for
Well,
trouble.
Jamie, you're now sounding a bit Catholic. I mean, if you got 10, 20 babies at once, it's
A Mormon.
Me and Daniel and myself will covenant together to pray for you, Alan, and we're going to try to get Scott to join us in that and see if we can get a transformation of the mind.
We might get a strike, but isn't that the opposite of what they're trying to do? It's all about population control, but yeah, went the other way.
Hey, was it Jamie? Was it you or somebody else from down there that put up that picture of that buck that had that udder coming out of his side?
That was not me. Who was that? I think that wasn't that CW. He's in Maine.
In Maine.
is that one of them trans bucks?
Now there's something goofy going on with it in the deer population. They're getting bucks and stuff are getting stuff they shouldn't have growing off of them.
It's they call it EWH, I think. I'm not sure what that stands for, but even if I knew, I couldn't repeat it because they're unpronounceable words. And what happens is out of the chest or out of the uh, intestines, there's a growth develops. It's not chronic wasting disease. It's pretty much the opposite of that, where they don't know if they're. I don't know if it's tumors or if but it's some kind of abnormal growth. I don't know if it's tumors, abscess, what it is, but it's not pretty to look at.
Well, I know Eric is hurting. I know he's had quite a bit of a day and is hurting a little bit. And before we get too far into this, I do got to work tonight. But in honor of Ed, we will have one 200 ale. And Eric, I don't know if you got a drink beside your brother or not, but to our brother Ed, cheers, brother. We love you. We miss you. Slide you by.
I had a lone 2-hearted ale poured out for him in tonight's brew review, and then I noticed that he wasn't working on it very well, so I drank it.
Yep.
I almost screwed that all up. It's like I had the firearms that I've received over the years in one fashion or another from Ed. So obviously, we're on WokeTube, so I can't show you. The one on my side was after we lost Ed. Jules actually went to the gun shop to see if any of the stuff that he had sold to the gun store was still there, and the Smith & Wesson 4006 was sitting there, and she went and bought it back from the gun store and gave it to me. So I'm proud to say that of two of my favorite firearms from Ed, the 1911 that he gave me almost a decade ago. and that 4006 have never spent any time in my safe. They are either on me or on duty.
How about that SKS you wanted you to chop up?
I had that out. I had that out tonight too. It was I still to this moment in time, it was almost the closest I've ever come to getting into an argument with him. I told him, I said, a company called Matador Arms sponsored me, and they sent me this really cool chassis. I can make an SKS basically look like an AR and an AK had sex. And he's like, I got you covered. And I go, oh yeah. He goes, yeah, I got this SKS. I've had it out of the box a few times to look at it, but maybe Wednesday, maybe next week, I'll run over to my FFL and get it shipped out to you. And I'm like, okay. I said, I don't need anything special, man. I'm going to be cutting it all up. I got to cut the end off. I want to thread the barrel. You know, it's like I don't need any of the specialty shit. The stock is a complete piece of garbage. Don't even bother even shipping it. Just send me the rest of it. Yeah, okay. Like a week later, my FFL calls and says, "Yeah, I got a package in for you." I'm like, "Okay." And he had already had it out of the box, took the serial numbers off of it, slid it back in the box. I didn't even open it. I was just like, I'm not going to get all jazzed up and have to look at this thing right away. You know, there's some of that special stuff where you're playing with that stuff the whole way home in the car, hoping that the person in the truck that goes past you doesn't see that you got a firearm out and you're goofing around with it. So I get home, and I think I threw it in the basement. And the following day, I was back looking at the parts, and I was kind of curious as to, you know, how much I'm going to have to cut off this barrel to make it look right. And I slid it out of the box, and it's all wrapped up in that heavy plastic bag, and pull out of the plastic bag, and it's like, this is a Zastava. It doesn't look like it's ever been fired. The furniture is the nicest. I mean, this is like, I just went to the gun store and I bought it brand new kind of look. It has the grenade launcher on it. I mean, I've never seen one in this nice of shape. The bayonet, you know, it's just like, no. I'm like, Ed, we need a video chat tonight. Oh, what's it all about? What's it all about? I said, we need a chat tonight. I'm like, I go, you said you had an SKS that I'm going to chop apart for a project. Yeah. You don't chop something like this apart. You know, this was in the Obama time period. So we were no longer seeing what I saw when I originally could have bought one. You know, it was $89 for a Mosin. It was $99 for an SKS, and it was $129 for an AK-47 up at my place. And up there, they just literally drag a crate out and say, you pick what you want. I mean, that's how I got my Mosin. I sat there. I must have picked up 10 rifles. And I was just trying to find the one that had the nicest action on it. I didn't really care about the rest of it because my plan was to eventually sporterize it. But I'm like, no, man, I got to send this back to you. And he goes, I don't want it back. And I go, he goes, brother, he goes, you needed it. I had it, and it's yours. You know, it's now yours. You do what you want with it. And I said, I can't cut it up. He says, then don't cut it up. He goes, put it in your safe. Shoot it. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. It's yours. It's not mine anymore. It got transferred to you, remember? And I go, well, I could send it back. And he goes, no, you can't send it back. Okay. So here it is. You know, that's like, he was gone. I had it that whole time, and I never shot it. And then I started thinking about, you know, how would some of these people that we know act, you know, and I'll just get it off the line right now. If the day ever comes and you have a firearm that belonged to me and I'm dead, shoot the hell out of it. I will be pissed off knowing that it became a safe claim. So one day, and actually it was like one of the worst case scenarios. It must have been like 16 degrees below zero. my friend Matt was going up to his dad's place to do a little plinking, and I'm just like, don't even want to leave the house, let alone thinking about playing. He's like, "Oh no, it's I got a good little area." Well, it started off with that scenario where as you started to walk across the snow, you just sank, and it was like 3 feet. So by the time you got to where we were supposed to shoot, I wanted to take a nap. I was so tired from just getting out there. But since then, I've shot the rifle. Maybe even take it out this weekend. I have Jeremy and Caitlin. Pre-dawn death will be here for the weekend, and maybe I'll. We're planning on doing rifles up at the range. They have out to 300 yards, and maybe it'd be a good time to bring Ed back out for that. But I tell you, that SKS shoots like a 22 Magnum revolver or a rifle. It's just such a smooth and light shooting rifle, and I don't proclaim to be a marksman, but it was almost getting to the point where it was that scene from the movie The Color of Money when he's shooting pool and he just starts looking away. It was almost like I was like, ting, ting, ting. Yeah, no, I could never have cut it apart. There was this no way. I wanted to send it back to him because I ended up getting another one that actually looked like the one that I wanted. The stock looked like complete garbage, and I didn't feel bad about cutting the barrel down on it.
Yeah, me and Alan had the pleasure of spending some time with Mike this past week, and we got to shoot his SKS. And you want to talk about smooth? You're talking like a 22 Magnum, yeah, man. There was nothing to it.
I guess Jules says thank you for doing the show, Scotsman.
Absolutely, of course, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a part that another great thing. If it wasn't for the fact that she's such a weather wussy, I hated when she left, but she went back to Guam. So it's really hard to argue with her on a day like today, where right now it's 37 degrees, and in Guam it's probably 92. But
yeah.
it was awesome when she was here, and she, we got one neighbor over here that's usually home by noon. I got another neighbor that's on a complete night shift. So when Jules was staying with us, she had constant people that became good friends with her when she was here. And what I really liked about it is she can't sit still. So it's like I'd come home from work, and it was just like she's like, "Hi, honey. Just so you know, I don't go in the kitchen for a little while. I cleaned in there and clean the floor." And it's just like, Jules, you don't have to do anything. I know, but I can't sit still. So I'm looking forward to her taking a trip back, and she well knows that she always has a home. As long as we have a home, she'll always have a home.
Yeah, absolutely. I was talking to her a while back. She said she was going to probably be a year or two before she comes back.
Yeah. Of course, when she left and said it'd be a couple of years, you think, oh man. But then you start looking back at how time actually flies. It's been 4 years. 4 years since we lost Ed, and it just seems like
Feels like 2.
Seems like I was just talking to him about something, about how Christopher's an asshole.
Well, I mean, Chris is an asshole, so But no, Chris, you're right, man. It doesn't feel like 4.
At least you're talking about me. That's all that matters.
It doesn't feel like 4 at all, man. It's crazy to think about that.
No, that would be a conversation you'd never have with Ed. The whole hashtag be like Ed was born out of, if you knew Ed, I don't have to explain it, but if you don't know Ed, I mean, hell, her car has a license plate frame that says hashtag be like Ed. My motorcycle has a has a license plate frame that says hashtag Be Like Ed. I have one for my truck, but the only license plate that it'll fit on right is my front one. And I'm about to put a plow on it and bury it, so I don't want to put the license plate frame on it and not have it seen.
Don't you have one of those nasty Glock things with one on there too?
I got one of those. It's actually on the back of Ed's clock that I bought off him.
Oh, the Be Like Ed plates.
Yeah, I think I bought the blue titanium one.
Yeah, I have at least three Glocks that have the Be Like Ed plates on them. But it was who he and I have to always get credit for this. That was started by the Real Cobra Burnout. I don't know where he came up with it, but to this moment in time, brilliant. I mean, again, if you're hearing me talking, you have no idea exactly who Ed was, or maybe you only brief. I mean, his channel's still up. You can go over and get an idea of his mannerism.
Go watch a video or two, and you'll get a real quick idea, and it's not hard to see where it came from.
Yes, and then of course other things came from it. Christine and David Brown wrote a book, and the greatest part about this book is 21 entries.
Mm-hmm. 21 people answered the email to tell their story or remembrance of Ed.
Christine and David put out a thing stating that if you would like to be in the book, write your thoughts on Ed. You know, some of the people had only interacted with him via YouTube, and some of them had the pleasure to interact with him in person. But 21 of you guys actually submitted stuff that did end up in the book, and your thoughts and stuff with Ed. But you know, for me, it was always I'd only dealt with an upset Ed one time. It was always the other way around, and it was like no matter how upset. Well, actually, there's two times. There's that piece of shit YouTuber, and then a family member. Where the only times that I ever dealt with where I had to actually pretend I was Ed and talk Ed down. But for everything else, it was all Ed. I mean, I remember, just whatever it was, maybe having a bad day, and are you gonna be able to video chat tonight, man? I gotta be talked off the ledge. And he had the ability to just like verbally diffuse bombs, you know, emotional bombs. And it was just the way he was, and his heart was there. It was, you know, like one of the pistols that I bought from him. And of course people are like, well, you shouldn't change it because it came from Ed. No, you don't understand. Ed knew that I wanted that particular gun, and he found it, bought it, and said he was going to shoot it for 6 months, 7 months, or whatever. And then the next opportunity we had to get together, you know, I was going to buy it from him. And that was just the kind of stuff that he constantly did. He was always trying to help people. And
Was that the SIG?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up at some point too. Yeah, the SIG 10 millimeter.
You're
He was
supposed
hunting for that thing, hunting for it. He asked, and I helped him look for it. He also was looking for the Ruger 10 millimeter. I helped him find that as well. But yeah, he was one that was always good to talk to you, man. There was a couple of times I only seen him mad once that I had to kind of help talk him down too. I didn't see him mad too often.
No, Ed was, you know, and you know, it's funny because, you know, we gave him so much shit about his internet, and towards the end, he just gave up on the internet. So what he would do is his computer would be here, and he'd be using his phone for doing what we're doing right now. So he'd always be like typing, and you'd crack some joke about him, and he'd always like look over and just, he's got that stupid little childish smile that he always had. You know, and then the inevitable was if his internet started to act funky, somebody always had the dial-up tone queued up.
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, we used to give him shit, and he used to go along with it. I remember one time the internet was acting weird, and he was just like, Jules, get the aluminum foil and get up on the roof. Gotta improve the signal. No, it was just the bottom line is he was just a fantastic person, and it was just such a loss. And personally speaking, I'm actually kind of upset about that whole scenario. I personally believe if our medical system wasn't the shit show that it's turned into these days, that Ed might still be with us, because the bottom line is he basically died from an infection. And if he wouldn't have been pushed to go back to work so soon and then be around people while his immune system was at its weakest point in time, I mean, just so much. I mean, maybe not Christopher, because he's like 12 years old, but the rest of us, like for me, when I had my appendix removed, and the normal stay for having your appendix removed was a week in the hospital. And nowadays, you'll wake up and the nurse will be standing behind you in the wheelchair waiting for your Uber to show up in the parking lot. I mean, open heart surgery is in and out in a day. My friend had his a full knee replacement. He went home that day.
Well, heck, Jamie, CW had triple bypass, and he was in and out in a day or 2 days. He wasn't in there long. They sent him home, and he was out of home pretty quick.
Yeah, he had his surgery on a quadruple bypass. He had surgery Tuesday afternoon, and he was at home Friday.
Yeah,
and that used to be a 2-week stay.
Yeah, and I openly think if our medical hasn't been pushed to the point where it's all about the money and not about the people anymore, that there's a chance. Now, I might be just, Eric, you're bitter because you lost a friend, but we talked to him on like Friday, and he was just like, well, I don't know, he had worked, and he said he was starting to feel a little bit bad, and was just going to go double check by going into walk-in, and that was the last time I talked to him.
Well, I agree with you, man. It's unfortunately I can say that for everyone that we've lost out there in our group. All the guys that we've lost here. Would have been here if the medical field actually did their fucking jobs.
It's 4 years for Ed this month. That makes it 7 years for Justin.
Yep.
Which, that just seems even more incredible. It's been 7 years. I mean, it's incredible for the 4, and then too many good guys are leaving us. It's a shame.
Look at Justin's final mission. Troy Yoakum. He first he gets the boot from the company that he started because he cared too much about soldiers and not about profits. And he gets handed the box, and he goes out and he walks away from Active Heroes and starts Warrior Battalion. And right in the middle of training, I mean, this was a guy that I wouldn't want to have pissed off in the first place. Now he's in the middle of training to walk across the United States of America, and he's the reason that we have Justin's final mission, and that's the reason. If anybody is wondering what's going on in that, I don't even know where we stand. I don't know. Every time we make a turn right now, I have to find a nonprofit in order for this to work. It has to be something that everybody will sort of agree to for a soldier, for somehow helping military, and something that Justin would be proud of. And we thought we had it with Troy, and Troy was such a great person. And all of a sudden, Troy called me and he goes, I got a special package on the way. And I was like going, oh, awesome. We were just talking about a a blue label Johnny Walker. Maybe that's what he's sending me. And like 4 days later, I get something in the mail, and I'm like, well, I guess I realized that it's not a bottle of Johnny Walker, because it was like the size of a book. And it ended up being, he had a plaque made for me from Warrior Battalion for everything that we do for Justin's Final Mission. And excuse me, and lo and behold, he had actually passed away right around the time that I received that plaque. But we didn't find out until like a frickin' month afterwards. Justin's own brother, to this moment in time, has not returned a single phone call or a text message from me. And I started with him going, what the hell happened? Well, I ended up having to find out in the goddamn news report. Here's a guy that's a soldier. I mean, this guy could probably pick up Scotsman in one hand and Christopher in the other hand and hike you guys out of a burning building. And we supposedly lost him to COVID. Again, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, so I'm not exactly sure how I feel about that claim. But now since then, our whole Justin's Final Mission, the rifle that we're in the middle of giving away hangs right above me in every single one of the brewery reviews. We're trying to find somebody, because I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. You will not send me a dime. I already get all the naysayer idiot children out there that's like, oh, don't get involved with one of Eric's fundraisers because he just arranges it for his friends to win. Well, in the long run, they do end up becoming friends. Hell, if John Solar 283 wouldn't have ever won, I don't even know where my life would be right now, because it's because of John that I've been doing Locked and Loaded for a decade. It's because of John that she started her show. Then her show took off and Spreaker wanted her to do a daily show. And it's all because of the time I spent with John. And I didn't know who the hell John Solar was until I agreed with NIHAP that he was the one that did answer all the questions exactly like we wanted. So, yeah, I don't want anything to do with the fundraiser money part. That's why we're still trying to find.
No, I talked to him to Troy here, probably the weekend right before he passed. He said he had something for me. It's the same thing. Ended up being a plaque too. And right when I went and got it and picked it up, because he sent it to my PO box, when I went and picked it up, I was trying to get a hold of him to thank him for it, and I couldn't get a hold of him.
Yeah, I texted him that day that I opened it up, and it's like, wow, this is incredible. And yeah, we had basically already lost him too.
But yeah, we've lost a lot of people, and for me, I think Ed in particular was one of the first guys that kind of welcomed me onto YouTube. And it's funny when he always ended these videos, he's always like, do me a favor, y'all go down and you make sure I'm gonna put down there, you go over and you say I sent you. And he just had a particular way with people. He really did. And that guy was just freaking awesome.
Oh, I remember even when there'd be like little skirmishes between our own YouTube family members. Mm-hmm. Ed would almost be in tears. It's like, life is short, guys. We don't need to be acting like this. Your reasonings for arguing with each other are idiotic. You got to make I remember one time I don't remember who it was at this particular moment in time, but he got that. He's just like, you guys just need to work it out. That's all I'm gonna say. And then I saw this. He said his piece and he jumped out of the chat.
He did that with me and Cobra, because me and Cobra got in it at one point. I know Cobra got in it with some other people too, but he did that with me and Cobra, and I'm not sure if it was someone else or not, but yeah, it was we got on it at one point. Didn't like my conspiracy theories, so he got pissed at me.
See, everybody's singing Ed's praises, but I kind of I gotta say, Ed has cost me money over the years. Ed has cost me money because he's the one that got me into 10 millimeter.
I mean, you really can't be mad at that.
I mean, I'm not, I'm not mad at that. I'm just saying, if it wasn't for Ed, I don't know. It might have been, a year, 2 years. It might have been further down the road, but Ed is the one that got me into 10 millimeter. And I'm all about 10 millimeter now. I absolutely love it. And it's because of Ed that I really kind of went, yeah, I need to look at that round.
So how many are you up to now? Including your most recent purchase, which was what, about a week ago?
Yeah.
And if you guys
considering the most recent one.
If you guys didn't see, he actually picked one up here about a week ago, and he's actually putting up videos. Holy cow.
Yeah, I was trying to do some editing before the show if my computer wasn't screwing with me, but no, last week, this is a part YouTube auditor. This is not a gun. This is a part. Last week, I did pick up the SIG X10, and it is it's very, very nice, very nice. I've already got the light and the gas pedal on it. Need an optic, and I need for Safariland to make a holster that'll fit the bastard.
Yeah, you two are. It's funny. Inside put one out this week too. Yeah, you two are. You're at it. Who's gonna do the next one?
I am positively a fan of the 10 millimeter. I don't want to actually admit how many of them I have on YouTube.
Can you count them on one hand?
Sort of barely. Sort of barely. Yeah. I just don't disclose everything that I have on YouTube.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to. I don't disclose everything either. I don't.
Sort of, barely, not quite.
I'm a little bit more obsessed. That's for me. I tell everyone. I've been telling everyone for years. You actually shoot a 10 millimeter, you will then want to own a 10 millimeter, and then the rest is just trickle down. Not to mention, and I did a video on this where some people are like, in the event that the zombie shit happens or whatever, what's your go-to caliber? Well, for me at the time, it was 10 millimeter, and people thought that was strange. Well, you're gonna run in, you're gonna grab 9 millimeter, and you're gonna grab 9 millimeter, and you're gonna grab 9 millimeter. You might grab 45, but the chances are that most people aren't gonna go in and grab 10 millimeter. And that was sort of the dynamics of that were sort of proven, or I proved my own point in a local auction that we had. There was a lot of ammo in it. Everything was in it. And the one thing that there was a lot of was FN57. I bid on some 9 millimeter, everything FN57, 357 Magnum, 45, and I can't remember. 44 Magnum and 357 and 45 were pretty much the other ones. The auction is 7 days. At 6 days to go, the 9 millimeter ammo that they had in this auction was already within 50 cents of a box of brand new. You guys are idiots. I'm sorry, but you're idiots. And by the time it was all over, I bet you some of them got into a bidding war and they paid more than it would have cost if you went down and bought brand new. But guess what? I won every single box of the FN57, and the most I paid was $6 for a box. I sent an invoice to Jay, the owner of Elite Ammunition, who specializes in this, and he texted me back and he said, "Where the hell did you buy this? I haven't seen prices like this since before Obama." I said, this wasn't a receipt. This was my auction thing. And he goes, "Oh my God, yeah, I ended up with I think it was 8 boxes of FN57, and the most expensive one was $5 and some change."
Wow. That's incredible.
Wow.
But forget about the 45 ACP and the 9mm and the 38 special and all those. Most of that shit was all gone on day one.
Dude, if I saw that price, I would have bought it and just sold it to you.
Well, and like in my local stores, it was kind of proven as well with the 10mm, because when ammo started to crunch and everybody went out and bought and panic bought, I couldn't tell you how many times I'd walk in the store and see boxes of 10mm still sitting there. So it's like, I roll my own 10mm, but nevertheless, it's just like, yeah, that was like one of the last things that was still left on the shelf was 10mm.
I mean, in essence, the 10mm is a semi-auto cartridge that's 357 Magnum. It's and I just laugh when and I guess I get to reap the rewards of it because I happen to own a full-on certified, all of the paperwork came with it, a Smith & Wesson 1076 in 10mm. And the FBI had it from 1982 to just about 83, and they were turned back in because the FBI found it too energetic. It's like, give me a break. It's like, the 10mm is really not that. The 10mm is a very snappy round. When you pull the trigger, you know that it has left. Elvis has left the stadium.
Well, I think they think of either FBI, CIA, police. They think that these people shoot a lot to practice, and they just don't. Like your local cop force, your police department, a lot of those guys barely shoot. What, they qualify once every 2 years, maybe once a year, and for some, a lot of them.
Let me address this comment real quick. Hey, you got to show up to get a wrench. Just saying.
Yeah, what's up with that? Hell, Jeremy's got a wrench. That's fucked up. I wouldn't let that guy have my bottle opener.
Go ahead, Chris. Continue. Sorry, man.
That's it. A lot of people think that cops and FBI agents, they shoot a lot, but I think they qualify. I think it's once every 2 years, maybe once every year.
Christopher,
that's all they shoot.
We need to go become cops because they're going to give us the ammo so we can go to the range.
Well, I've asked some cops before about that. If they want to go practice, if they can just go shoot as much as they want at the range, and the police station will pay for it. And it depends on the precinct you're in, but basically the answer was no. Like, you can't go shoot as much as you want. You can go use the range as much as you want, use your ammo, and they might give you some, but you're still going out of pocket for some of it. It depends on the precinct and obviously their budget. But the point is that, like, a lot of them don't shoot very much at all. Yeah, they've been a cop for 20 years, but they've maybe shot a few thousand rounds or something, if that, mostly at qualifiers. So,
okay, Alan, you don't have to give up the numbers, but I'll go pot if you go pot. What's your favorite of your 10mm to shoot?
The next one I get.
It's a good answer right there, because there's always one more. There's always one more.
I mean, right at the moment, this X10 is kind of exciting everything else. Is it anywhere as as solid as like my Delta Elite? Is it anything like the Rock Island 1911? A couple of the 1911s are just a lot smoother. They handle the round a little bit better, but I'm digging this 320 variant. Once I probably end up getting, once they come out with like an AGX frame, like a steel frame for it, it's going to be hard to beat.
I'm probably like you. Whatever's the newest one is usually becomes my favorite one to take shooting. But in all honesty, the last time I went out, I brought 4 different 10 millimeters, and I found that it became a tie to I can't put down the Delta Elite and I can't put down that 1076, that the FBI gun. And I realized that when you're dealing with a gun that actually has the historic information from Smith & Wesson, and it's embossed, and it says, yes, this gun went to the FBI on this date and was gone this long and turned back into Smith & Wesson on this date, and you are basically the third owner of this pistol, that this thing should be sitting in the safe somewhere with a laser security system surrounding it. But no, I usually carry it on the weekends, and I have shot the absolute hell out of it at the range. And I'm surprised I actually shoot it. I shoot it better than any of the other ones that I have. And the Delta is a strong second. I have several 1911s that are chambered in 10 millimeter, but for some reason, shooting that Delta, it's almost like the gun version of the car in the movie Christine. It just doesn't want me to put it down. It forced me to shoot all of that ammo 2 weeks ago, damn it.
It has a habit of that.
It has honestly gotten to the point where when I bring a 10 millimeter out with me, I need to bring that much ammo. That's it. Because if I bring the can with me, then I find that I just keep justifying one more mag. Just one
keep
more
on
mag.
going. That's it. Or you could be like me and Alan. We get ready to go on a trip. We have all this stuff set up, ready to rock and roll. And then we roll out of bed late and we forget to take the stuff out of the truck and put it in the Jeep, and we drive there and we get there and we have almost nothing.
Oops.
When have you done that?
Oh, probably 2 or 3 days ago, somewhere in there.
As long as you didn't leave your stuff in Iowa when you left.
I only left one thing, but that was intentional.
Not all of it. Only one thing you left in Iowa.
That was intentional, and Alan's got that.
Yeah, no, I'll openly admit, hi, my name is Eric, and I love 10 millimeter. I almost bought a carbine at a gun show, and I got talked down by NIHAP. He's like, that's an entry level carbine. I get you a really nice one at the same price. Just walk away from the table. I can't walk away from the table. Just walk away from the table. I can't do it. Okay, fine. So I walked away from the table. And then I set it down and walked to the other end of the table, and the guy that was standing behind me picked it up and filled out the paperwork.
Okay, so Bald and Curious, no. I did see the dent from the camel though. And it's it's still there. It's definitely there. It got hit hard.
I'm dying. It's nice knowing you guys.
Man,
If you didn't
dies
know,
live
Eric,
on YouTube and has more than 200 rounds on his person.
200 rounds on them? Amateur numbers.
I find it nearly hilarious when they like raid somebody's house or something for making fake suppressors or whatever, and they had an assault rifle and more than 200 rounds. I'm just like, I've got more than 3 times that loaded in magazines.
I was gonna say, there's been times where I probably had more than that on me. Had to run to Walmart. You can't trust those fuckers.
Walmart's had some good battles lately. I don't know if you guys have seen them floating around on the interwebs.
You want to talk to a guy about amateur numbers? You talk to this guy. You say 200 rounds. He's like, 200 rounds, please.
Got more than that rolling around my truck and loose ammo.
That sloshing sound. You
Mhm.
turn to the right or to the left.
Yeah.
That's an
Just
arsenal.
Just your practice ammo for the month is like 1,000 rounds. So, yeah, they raid these people and they start talking about thousands and thousands of rounds, especially if you reload. That's nothing.
Well, you got to reload.
Yeah, garage guy, with your Glock and your 20 SF. I hate to even say that word on here, but SIG X10, 15 plus 1. And that's before they come out with any competition style mags. 15 in the mag, 10 millimeter. That's a going to East Side Des Moines pistol right there.
I'm picking up that new Springfield Prodigy. Now, how sweet would it be if they made that in 10 millimeter? Maybe just a drill bit, they can make it happen.
Well, you probably could.
Hey, that is possible. I'm looking at and I can't remember the exact model. I didn't recognize the number. It is a SIG, an older SIG, and they made it in 9, 40, and 45, and it didn't matter if it was the 9 millimeter or the 45. They used the same barrel, and my buddy Jay turned his 40 into a 10 millimeter. I was like, hey, you wanna let that go? Unfortunately, you can't do that with just take a 40 cal gun and bore the chamber out a little bit and call her a 10 millimeter. You're gonna have all sorts of problems. But in this particular case, he was easily able to get it to run.
Isn't that what Glock did? Oh, I could be wrong.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's a good point. Yep.
Well, if that was an option, Alan, you know how awesome. I'd be more than happy to pile up all my 40 cal and send them off to somebody to have them all converted over to 10 millimeter.
What's the rough going rate for 10 mil right now per round? Like, is it over 50? Nah, I was seeing 45 for. I mean, depending on where you look, anywhere from slightly under 40 to 60, 70.
I just paid $500 for 1,000 rounds of SB in 10 millimeter. Where you can find 9 millimeter for like $250.
$250
or under $300. Because Jeremy was the one that almost
here and there been seeing 9 mil from 26.5 to, let's say, 30 cents a round, but then a lot of places you still got to possibly add shipping, so that's going to bump that up even more. So
Yeah,
cheapest kind of with shipping for 9mm I've seen is about 30 cents a round.
if you can look around and find some place, yeah. Jeremy says SG ammo. That's the cheapest place you're gonna find it.
I think I have their emails sent to me.
That's the problem, man. You gotta look around and try to find some places that offer any specials on shipping, because that's how you get totally screwed. I absolutely hate that. You find eBay is great for that. Oh, look, the item I want is $10. Oh, shipping is $10.
Palmetto has a lot of deals for free shipping here and there. I just got some 22 subsonic with free shipping. Came the other day.
Yeah, you just gotta watch, because a lot of these companies nowadays are doubling the shipping and doubling the hazmat.
Oh, it's been getting worse for sure.
Yeah, Mike. I don't know. You'll find people that want to argue about that. I have no problems with. I would not sell any of my 40 cal pistols.
Well, okay, now as far as this comment here, if I could be wrong, but I thought the 10mm came first, and they actually, the CIA or FBI, whoever, neutered it down into the 40 cal because it was too snap. The 10mm was too snappy for some of the female officers or the little bitch men, and that's where 40 was born. So 10mm came before 40.
Yes.
So that comment's technically backwards.
The biggest problem that came is when a lot of these companies started selling 10mm ammo that was just a 10mm case with 40 powder in it. And you'd go to, that's exactly the problem that I had when I had my 10 Foglia, the P carry. All I tried to do is ask. That was the most useless company. I sold that gun because I didn't like the way 10 Foglia treated its customers. All I wanted to know is my brother-in-law started loading the ammo. And they're like, well, we don't endorse Plus P. I didn't say anything about Plus P. I said, my brother-in-law is loading the ammo to the original 10mm specs. It's not hot. It's simply spec ammo. And they wouldn't help me at all. I was trying to get a recommendation on a company or what spring weight to go with. And I ended up just buying like a service pack that had like 5 different weights in it, and basically had to go out and shoot the gun. And the end story was the gun was ultra reliable and didn't feel like it was going to separate and hit me in the face on shooting my brother-in-law's loads for me with the 22-pound spring. Yet the 22-pound spring made the gun unreliable with anything you could buy off the shelf, unless you bought something like Underwood ammo. And then I'm right back to I might as well have. I'd rather pay my brother-in-law because he was consistent, and I call him my mad scientist of reloading.
Do you think they were slightly underpowered?
Yeah, a lot of the stuff you even still today, 10mm that you'll go buy off the shelf is just underpowered. It is nowhere near like, buy like some Winchester and then shoot some Underwood side by side, and you're like, oh.
Well, that's a kind of a given. Underwood's kind of known for the fuck you round.
But now Underwood isn't hot. I mean, it's not like they got some guy in there going, let's just get a little bit more powder in that case. Just we could still get the projectile in there.
What's that one company, the yellow and blue box? I forget what the hell they're called. They're supposed to be super hot. I forget what the hell they're called.
Buffalo bore.
Yeah, Buffalo bore. There we go. Thank you. I shot some 44 Buffalo bore. Were supposed to be, some of the hottest rounds you'll ever see. I shot those things. They were like 44 special, dude. They were nothing compared to the hand loads I had. They were nothing.
Well, that's just it. It's like, how can you be accused of doing Plus P or whatever if you open the book and you load it to the specs that are listed in there? No, This was just because this summer I actually got a lot of opportunity to go out to the range to take advantage of my pistols, and I had my 10 millimeter collection has gotten so low that I've been saving brass and tumbling brass and and giving all the supplies I can find to my brother-in-law to load, and it's just like it's one component or another. Every time he goes into the store, like right now, I got him a whole bunch of 454 Casull brass. Well, the 454 Casull is a small rifle primer, and right now in this area, you can't find a small rifle primer.
All right, Alan, we're about just over halfway through, man. You want to run through the side chat? It's rocking and rolling up there.
Oh, it is absolutely and entirely rocking out there. Andrew, good to see you, Mr. Hondo. Bold and Curious, Chris, 338, Firearms 101, Garage Day 879, Mr. Royalty himself, Insight Freedom. Laura Scums, Laura, the gal that Scotsman just won't shut up about. Milsert Mike, Ozzy Osbourne, Pre-Dawn Death, Rich White, Richard Marauder, Mr. Walter Davis. And great to have everybody, man, having a good time. Been on the 10 millimeter here for a minute because why wouldn't you be? Gary Gizzard out there as well. Good to see you. Good to see you guys. Now, Scotsman and I kind of wandered around a little bit at a couple of the big box stores and whatnot. There was for small rifle primers in my area, you can actually get some like CCI 41s.
Mm-hmm.
So loading 5.56, you're going to be all right. How that's going to work in a Casull, I couldn't tell you. But that was ultimately like the only primers other than like some shot primers, right? That you saw?
Yeah. The only other thing we saw was shot primers, 209s. Yep. And they were fairly priced for what they were. They weren't overly priced.
Yeah, when it Pre-Dawn, when it comes to factory 10 millimeter, yeah, I can. Actually, here in my little Bodog town, almost continuously they have at least Arms Corps 10 millimeter. They'll have a couple of them. The ones that I was having a little trouble issue with was finding some critical defense. I'd like to be able to carry like critical defense, even critical duty, but I would prefer critical defense to carry. I don't load my own carry ammo. I bring factory ammo in my carries on a regular basis, just because it's just another set of questions I don't want to have to answer.
Garage guy wanted to know what Mr. Holster's favorite round is. Well, I sort of can answer that because I can tell you what was left in the collection towards the end. 22, I would say, was probably his favorite for being able to go out and shoot. And then after that, it would have been 45 ACP.
Yep. We're going to say 45. He had a lot of 45. He had a ton of 22.
Definitely loved his 22.
Oh, yeah, he had a ton of that. There was probably 3 or 4 ammo cases just full of it.
Oh, Scotsman, I can say 4.
Okay. Well, I don't remember exactly off the top of my head. It's been a minute since I was there, but yeah, there was a lot.
It's been a minute since you dropped them off at my house.
It has been a minute.
Well, shit hit the fan. I mean, 22 is one of the best rounds to have. Not necessarily for defense, but for other reasons.
You're welcome, garage guy. Yeah, it's. I probably should have been an ammo hoarder, but I had so much 22 ammo already, and then after buying all of Mr. Holster's 22 ammo from Mrs. Holster, I just did what I thought was the right thing, and I packed up a bunch of it in ammo cans and gave it to a few good family members. And I still feel that I could probably every single time. And the problem is every time I come back home and a comment comes up about, but what about that? I'm like, oh my God, an opportunity missed. I swear one of the range trips needs to be put everything aside. Don't bring a 9, don't bring a 10. I know, Alan, settle down. Don't bring this and don't bring that. Do nothing but bring 22s out, because we had one day early on this year where we had my neighbor's kid and my other neighbor's kid, and it was awesome, because it was basically like sitting around watching the next generation enjoy shooting. So yeah, I tell you, if you got 22s, I think they're the in my collection, I can tell you they're the most unappreciated guns in the safe.
Okay, so I don't know if anybody else believes this way about 22. As a shit hits the fan round, try hunting with it. Okay, am I gonna go after a deer with a 22? Probably not. Certainly ain't gonna go after a fucking bear or elk with a damn 22. There's no way in hell. Am I going to go after small game, rabbits, squirrels, whatever? Yeah. You know, if it's just me, I'm not going to be packing around a shitload of fucking meat on my back. You know, a 22 is going to suffice really well for me walking around in a forest.
I mean, I started my shooting career with 22, shooting them out to 200 yards and a bunch of different cheap rifles, expensive ones. Yeah, you get the lemon here and there that fucking wings up, but you know, you got to find whatever ammo that the gun likes too. But I mean, you can easily shoot out to 200 with a reasonable accuracy, you know, with the right ammunition for whatever rifle you're shooting. But you just got to find what that is. I mean, there's a couple, you know, it's not. Some are really shitty, but.
John Huber from Huber Concepts today sent me pictures of the start of his build. It's a purpose-built 22 rifle for 600-yard competition.
Yeah, the interest.
And I'll say Poco's a friend of mine. So when I say, Poco, go fuck yourself, he knows that it's all in fun. I can guarantee you, if I needed to take animal with a 22, I could do it. Yeah. I mean, it may not be as, you know, you might have to spend a little bit more time waiting them out, but if you can't kill anything with a 22,
you got a major problem.
Yeah. Now, is it the first thing I'm going to grab as the aliens are invading or China's invading? You know, it's probably not. But if it ended up being all I had, I wouldn't be nervous. I could defend myself. I could defend my family, and I know I could still eat.
And keep in mind the how valuable it is to throw a can on a 22 and get yourself some subsonics, and what you can do with that. Not only with, may say, hunting in city limits or something if you had to, because you know things aren't great, or other quiet reasons. So there's a lot of
if you think 22 cannot be accurate, go check out Rick 86 covers and all the stuff he's been doing the past couple of years. I mean, that man is shooting up a storm with 22.
growing up, all the old poachers and stuff, that's what they used to get their deer with, was the 22. And they did things with their guns that those things were silent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I grew up with starting out with the 22, yes, rabbits, squirrels, but you would get chewed out if you didn't shoot them either one in the eye or through the ear. They just said, boom, you missed. And the whole thing is start them out young with the 22 to develop the eye. And up to a deer, I wouldn't want to go after a bear with a 22. Heck no. But a deer sized game on down, yeah, not a problem.
And the first time I heard 22 suppressed was actually at one of the Minnesota, I think the first Minnesota shoot with Eric and, a bunch of Ed and a bunch of other people. And that was on, what was it? Because there were two of them there. There's one, because Josh had both the suppressors. He had one on the 22 and one on a 9. And that 22 pistol, I don't remember what the pistol was, but it was a 22 suppressed pistol. And that thing literally, it was the first thing we shot that day before anyone really got out their guns and whatnot. He came out right away. And I mean, without ears, it sounded like a stapler. That's literally how loud it was.
The only noise you heard from I was gonna say, it's Josh. I mean, I know Josh was like always ahead of the curve because Josh makes good money.
Yeah.
So Josh has cool toys. The noise that you heard was the hammer hitting the back of the round, and then you heard the round rip through some trees. It was the only noise that thing made. It was like, I remember Jerry looking at it going, what is this magic?
Now put it on a rifle, it's going to be even quieter. So,
yeah, at most you hear the bolt slide back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was incredible. I was blown away by how it was less than movie quiet. But you're obviously only going to get that with the 22. The 300 he had that 300 blackout that year too, and that was suppressed too. I'm pretty sure that was really quiet as well. I was very surprised how quiet that was. Not quite as quiet as the 22, but still.
No, I don't know if I don't remember the 300 blackout at my place, but that 300 blackout that he had in Missouri, that was the same thing. It was like you heard as the firing pin hit the back of the round, and then either you heard ting or you heard it ripping through trees.
Yeah, I've got video of the 22 pistol, and then there's a video of me shooting his pistol length 300 blackout, shooting at 200 yards at a piece of steel with his suppressor on it, and it's just quiet as hell. And I'm still ringing the steel at 200.
What is this? His Ebomi has a drawer just for beer in the fridge.
Fuck yeah.
A 3-doored, and it's got its own beer.
I mean, he's got a dedicated beer fridge too, but yeah.
Where did you buy that fridge?
I don't recommend it. It's a Samsung.
That was your first mistake.
Samsung puts an ice maker in the refrigerator, and then they wonder why it's the biggest thing that breaks. Hey, Scotsman, want to know what rock bottom looks like?
I just saw the blue can. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's disgusting.
Actually, I bought it for the neighbor, and I'm just too lazy to go downstairs and get more because my back is killing me.
I just kind of figured, if that was your middle shelf beer, I don't want to see the bottom shelf.
See, Alan,
that worries you about his top shelf beer, though, too.
I've got neighbors that, in the event of a bear strike, you just toss this, and they go for the beer, and the bear gets them. So I just have throwdown beer.
Yeah, no, 101 says it right there. Nasty.
God, you're gonna make me want to dump this out and just go get some real stuff, aren't you?
You should.
God, you're coming to peer.
Unless you're just feeling dehydrated, because I mean that's just like boiled coconut water right there.
I can tell you right now, the way this day has gone, or how long this day has gone, if I have too many of these, you're just going to find out what it looks like to see Eric Loopy.
That's
Fine,
that's a great beer for when you're already too drunk to taste it.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Good job, fellas. We got him.
Now, if
Someone
we would have got
in the chat.
if we would have got him, he would have got somebody else to bring him up some beer.
Oh, I mean, if he
watch.
if he
Now
had,
watch. He's going to come up with a PBR.
Miller Lite.
I like just to insult me.
Pabst Blue Ribbon. Yeah, you gotta love it.
I mean, Ed would have cheated him a new asshole too.
What was that beer that Ed always drank? Fish Head Dog or
That's that Two-Hearted Ale.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
The,
Yeah,
the
that's
Boulevard Two-Hearted Ale.
So are we gonna have to put up with a beer review once he gets up here?
Maybe. I mean, see, he's taking his sweet time because he wants to grab something good now.
Yeah, going through the shelves. Oh, let's see. Just one.
Well, it's in a can, so it can't be that good.
Well, I got Troganator.
All right, it's a lot better than what he had in his hand, that's for
It's
sure.
at least that. Still
There
like. I'm not. Lately, I've really had a hard time with IPAs. I'm really gotten kind of burnt out on IPAs. Unless you can find like Dogfish Head 120, those range anywhere from 18 to 21%.
That's pretty hefty.
Yeah, it's. Imagine me and you in a mini keg of that.
Just push record first.
Well, remember, a 4-pack's like $20, so it's
Well, that's not as bad as I would have thought.
Dogfish Head 120, a 4-pack is $40. They're $10 a beer.
What, like a 16 ounce or
Nope, a 12-ounce bottle.
a 12 ounce bottle? What?
Four of them.
I wasn't paying
It's a
that.
4-pack for $40.
Well, it's gone up then because you never used to be that.
I never even found last year's batch. I don't know if they never made it up here or they sold them out or.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever paid that for 120.
And if you can have the ability to not drink it, Dogfish Head turns into such a wonderful thing after a year. All of that alcohol just gets so malty.
Yeah, Mike, we know you are, man. You like your Glocks, like you like your beer, light and shitty.
I just seen a video of you and Alan shooting his Glock.
We did, and you saw how bad it was. The entire target, everything but the middle of the target had hits in it.
Well, paper's expensive, man. You got to get the most out of it.
Well, and on top of that, I had a problem after the fact because come to find out I didn't have any hand sanitizer with me. I really needed some of that after touching that Glock
I didn't
thing.
see any malfunctions. So
No, it functioned flawlessly. It did function well. It did ignite rounds and sent projectiles downrange.
Has anyone heard from Hard Target lately? Was it Glenn or what was his name? The guy that was cutting the AR 500 steel. He had that business. I was Hard Target. I believe.
No, haven't seen him out here on the tubes in a little bit. I did text him a couple of weeks ago.
But he's still alive. As far as
He's still alive. Yeah, I text him here and there.
okay. So I haven't shit. I just thought of him because you said paper targets. It made me think of steel, and then I realized shit. I haven't seen him in forever.
I got a bunch of his steel when he was selling it.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
like 6 plates. That's a
I'm
nice
still,
steel.
yeah, I'm still bouncing stuff. I mean, that stuff is rated AR 500, but I tell you what, it's taking some rifle rounds. And I think it's a lot better than AR 500.
Bald and Curious, I've drank plenty of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Arrogant Bastard's a good beer.
It is a damn good beer. I've drank plenty of it.
Does remind me of Scotsman though.
Well, I mean, you know, you get what you ask for. So you knew what you were buying before you bought it.
Well, and so do most porta potties. That's not saying much.
I still got a couple bottles of that. What was the Justin whiskey? What was that?
Oh God. Oh.
I can't remember the name. I got like 3 bottles still up in my cupboard. Actually, the little bottles. What was that shit called?
Loudons?
Louders?
I mean, if I end up going down for another beer, I can look because it's sitting right in the monitor.
I think it's Louders or something like that. I have an ammo can still full of it because we intended on shipping it all out and trying to get it to everyone in time for 1 year for the shot, and I started having trouble with the post office.
Yeah, it never happened.
But I still have it all sitting in a freaking ammo can, and it's
You sent me like 3 or 4 of them, I think, and because
I sent you a few. I think I tried to send Eric a few. I tried to send someone else a few, and then the post office started getting on me, inquiring exactly what I was shipping and all the rest of it, and going, "Hey, we can kind of hear something going on here," and I'm like, "What? I don't know what you're talking about."
It's barbecue sauce. It's meat tenderizer. That's what I tell them.
So then the next one that I shipped ended up getting lost in the mail. They just confiscated it.
That's some good stuff right there. Everyone, you should go.
I mean, I have the bottle that Justin gave me, and everybody considers it an honor to gag on that shit when they come over to my house.
You gag all right, that's for sure.
God, it is. I tell you, and the funny thing is Justin wasn't really a drinker, and so he like hands me these 2 bottles, and it's like, so we open it up, and he took a shot. He handed me the bottle. I took it, and I'm like, he's behind me, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is the nastiest shit I've ever. And it's like, we turn around. He goes, so what do you think? And I'm like, he goes, you can give me the honest answer. I said, this is shit water. He goes, yeah, it's pretty bad. Puts the cap back on, and voila. Now I have that damn bottle with his dog tags hanging around it. And when we get together in a group, we usually torture ourselves with that shitty ass scotch.
Torture is very true.
You know what? It is not aging well either.
I don't know if there's any way to fix that. And you got Jamie's over here just laughing his ass off, dude. He knows. Speak up, Jamie. Come on.
For a bottle look, by the time it gets in the bottle, the aging is done, brother. It ain't going to get better overnight or over the years. You can let it sit there all you want to in a glass bottle. It ain't getting no better.
I don't know what you're talking about because the bottle says highest awarded gold medal in Paris in 1878, and then also a gold medal in Chicago twice in what does that say? 1893 and 1886. So I mean, it's a 3-time award winner, multinational global awards. So it's good shit.
Listen, listen, dude. I mean, in 1870 whatever and then 1890 whatever. That probably was the best whiskey they had, you know. I mean, but we've progressed a long way since
What you're
then.
saying, just because it hasn't won an award in 130 years, that it's no good anymore?
There's a reason it hasn't won in 130 years.
See, that's the other one I
It was
laugh
probably
at. Is
the only one that was available in 1893 or
I mean,
whatever it was.
It's Scottish whiskey from Glasgow, from
I
Scotland.
mean, look.
It hasn't won an award in Scotland.
Chicago gave it an award. That
Two.
tells you everything you need to know right there.
2 awards.
Chicago.
And the
Yeah.
French.
And,
What do
and the
French know about Scotch or whiskey?
Right, exactly.
You know, we still have beers. I could still buy you a beer, and on the back of the bottle it says brewed to the purity standards of 1565. Well, yippee skippy. Not those purity standards. Yeah, smooth, isn't it, Christopher?
I didn't take a shot. I just smelled it. I forgot how bad it was.
God, kill that bottle. Kill that
So-
soldier. Do it.
Dude, that's more than a shot.
So how are those awards working for you now, brother?
Well, yeah.
Come on, man, for Ed. Do it for Ed.
Oh,
Wow.
No pressure. No pressure.
For Ed, brother, come on.
if I do it, everyone's got to cheers with me.
Cheers.
To Ed,
Cheers.
Justin, to all the friends we've lost. Cheers. Ah,
Notice how fast the follow-up was.
woo!
All of a sudden, licking out the ass of a skunk seems like an okay thing.
Ah.
Don't you just love how the colors in his face changed from second to second there?
Oh, it's the light.
The question is, did it clear your sinuses or clog them up?
I got tingles.
Ooh, tingles. That must be the Paris Award.
Now, Chris, I gotta ask you. Now that you drank that, what are you gonna clean your guns with?
Oh, I got 2 more bottles. Don't worry. Yeah,
Yep, there it is.
Use
So-
it for removing bluing.
that's what I clean my toilet with. It takes the fucking. It just eats the ceramic.
Will it take cosmoline off of milsurp guns?
Oh, you know how you like spill oil in the garage floor and you can't get it out? Just fucking scrub it with that shit. Clean your injectors on your car. I mean, you know.
You just gotta
So
think
Steve-
what's doing to your insides right now.
Yeah, I haven't drank that stuff, and I think the last time I had a shot of that was probably with you, Scotsman, when you were here. That was what, last year, or is that this,
But,
this
yeah, it's been a
year?
minute.
Last year? That was last year.
So he brought you 3 bottles and you just killed one and you still got 2 more, huh?
Well, no, he sent me those little bottles. God, what was it? Was I was planning on making a Justin video. It wasn't the first one. I forget which one it was because I used to do a video for Justin every year because he passed on my birthday, so it's not hard, not hard to forget or not hard to remember. And I was gonna make a video where I wanted all the guys that gave a shit about Justin, at the time, to everyone have a bottle. And the concept of the video was basically that we were all going to take a shot for Justin in his honor. And like I started off and I'd take a pull off of those mini bottles, and then I was going to, hand it off screen this way. And then Eric would come and, he would edit a video to where he was grabbing it and pulling it into his frame. And then he'd, honor towards Justin do that. And then like the next guy would maybe, put it up out of the frame like this. And the next guy would grab the bottle down, and then like splice them all together for all the different people that gave a shit about Justin and make that into a video. But it just didn't work out. Scotsman got sourced and purchased a bunch of the mini bottles and sent some of them out, but it just never came to fruition in time for that year. I mean, I'm sure we could still do it. But
you know what I want is I want you to hand the bottle up to me, and then I end up with a dildo in my hand and like.
We can make that video anyway. It doesn't have to be, a Justin video.
Shit.
There's AR. What's happening? AR guns. And Walter kind of makes my point there. When it's in the bottle, the aging is over. The aging and the picking up the character and all that kind of stuff goes on while it's in the barrel.
Right.
Then the question comes up, can you fix that? Yeah, but you don't want to because it's a lengthy carried out process and it's illegal in most states. So don't worry about it.
I mean, though, if you can fix that kind of bottle, you probably should.
Well, the only way to fix it would be to redistill it. And if you don't have something to put with it to redistill it, you're going to redistill it into the same thing you've already got. So it's pretty much pointless.
Right.
Well, no, I know it obviously differs from state to state, but I thought that it was that in a lot of states, if not most, that it's legal for you to manufacture your own liquor as long as you're not selling. If it's for personal use, you can have a still. And I know in some states you still can't, but I thought in most or half that if it was just for personal use that you could do it. I know in some it's that way. I'm sure not all states, but as long as you're not selling it, then you're fine.
And Georgia, Tennessee, North and South Carolina, you ain't allowed to have no still, brother, because sometime in the past.
You can make your own still. But no, you can buy some of them online. I know, I've seen some.
I've got one off of Amazon.
Yeah.
Have you used it?
No, I am the disappointment of the Mason Jar Mafia, who now is converted to the Crazy 8 Shiners. I need to get off my ass and do it. The first thing I was supposed to do is the sterilization run. Then I was supposed to do the I don't remember the name of it now. The run that just gets thrown out. I was told I need to get a bunch of vodka and basically run some vodka, and that was just going to be garbage just for getting the still ready.
Seasoning the pan, as it were.
Yeah. And then at one of our auctions, I bought all of this shit, like the next level up in a beer making kit. Even came with the great big, like the office water bottles, but they're plastic. This is a gigantic one that's made out of glass. So eventually in here, I have to make some hand sanitizer.
Well, where did all that ammo come that went up for auction? Was it like some gun shop that shut down or something, or where did that come from? Was it an estate sale or?
I think it was all an estate sale.
Huh.
It's through a local auction. As a matter of fact, somebody you probably would recognize the name actually has an account, and so he keeps a tab on the auction, and then if there's a bunch of cool stuff and he wins, then this guy has to go over and pick all the shit up.
David? No.
Someone not in this area. Rhymes with ill.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
the auction wasn't even in Minnesota.
no, the auction is it's actually right over across the bridge in Superior. It's just that he found a whole bunch of shit that he wanted, so he bid on it, and then I picked it up.
Okay.
More ammo.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, sometimes they got some pretty good stuff. Right now, it's a twin ports bid, and there's one that's got a lot of automobiles in it. 2 weeks ago, it was must have been some bakery closed because it was all like stainless steel mixers and refrigerators, and if you wanted to start your own bakery, you could have done it a couple weeks ago.
That's amazing. Bald Curious has had a bottle sitting for over a decade.
When the hell is she gonna let you open it after you die, and she's gonna celebrate?
Well, obviously things. Now, I'm not questioning the expert in the chat. I can tell you though that Mr. Holster gave me, was it 4 bottles of whiskey, and the bottle was given to him from his dad, and his dad died in. These bottles are from like 1971,
Jesus.
and I still have 1 bottle left with about this much left in it, and it is nowhere. Doesn't taste anything like a brand new bottle opened up. So something must have changed maybe in their distilling since the 70s.
Well, a lot of it will depend on the type of glass too.
Well, I'm sure how it's stored. Is the sun hitting it? What's the humidity? What's the temperature? What's the
Is it
And,
clear
you know,
glass or blue glass?
how many guys
Clear.
picking the bottle in the man cave while you weren't looking? And there's lots of factors here.
I mean, I'm sure the thing's been shook up a few times.
Pissed in it.
What was that bottle that in the red Mike drank like the whole fucking thing of that you were all pissed about? It was some fancy bottle of something.
Oh, it wasn't what it was. It was that it was.
Or somebody gave it to you and you never
Yeah,
drank
we
it?
had our big shoot, and someone walked in and handed me a nice bottle of whiskey, and I set it down on the man cave bar, and Mike comes down there all shit faced and opens it up and starts handing it out like it was his bottle. I remember Miguel acted almost like he wanted to cry. He was like, "I'm so sorry I drank it." I said, "Hey, no big deal. It's just a dipshit. It wasn't his bottle." But yeah, he never made it back to another shoot.
No, he didn't. But I don't think it was really because of that. I think there were other reasons.
I don't know about that, RTT. Classing up the place. You weren't here when I opened up the Keystone Light, I guess.
Yeah, you missed that one.
I got a demerit for that. 1 sip and it went in the sink.
Well, you bring out the Keystone and I bring out this fucking great shit. Yeah, classy place.
Classing the place up.
Pulling out all the stops for Ed tonight. Tell you what.
I don't know. Must have got a second win from Ed. I seriously thought this was going to be a 15-minute kiss the Scotsman and go back to the couch. I do look kind of pasty, but then again, I do that all the time.
You got the white screen.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm thinking there is everything wrong with Keystone.
But see here, this is coming from the guy who likes Glocks. So I mean, what do you expect?
And it landed perfectly upside down in the center of the.
Because it knows where it belongs.
Yeah, I can tell you there's nothing left in the can.
And your pipes too, because it helped clean those out as it went through.
Did you actually pound it and drink it? Because it doesn't look like it.
Huh?
Did you actually pound it drinking it, or you just threw like half of the can in the fucking?
No, I took 1 sip and succumbed to peer pressure from the clan. I literally had 1 sip of that whole beer.
Sacrilege.
I'm still on, woman. Be quiet.
I
Hey,
need to apologize for my comment, Eric, because somewhere there's an alcohol starved drunk that's just could have put that beer to good use.
You know, here's the thing. As of right now on my brew channel, I have been sent 135 flasks. I open them, I pour it, I drink it, I try to guess to what it is. I leave my comments, and then I send my notes on to the guy that sends me the flasks. He's got a folder because he works as a tugboat captain, so he's not home a lot. He opens this little thing. Flask number 134 was, and he texts me back what it is. And there's been a lot of them that have sucked ass. So I started pouring them into a bottle. I ended up with a great big vodka bottle filled with this whiskey, that whiskey, this whiskey, that whiskey, that bourbon, and so on. There's a guy that begs on the corner over by the grocery store with his paper sign, and the sign literally says money or Fireball whiskey. Well, I packaged this thing up one day and I presented it to him, and he's like, "Wow, man, that's like a really nice bottle." And I go, "No, it's not what it says. I review alcohol, and this is everything that I didn't want. I'm being honest with you. It's like several bottles all poured in. Wow, damn, man, that's a nice bottle. Okay, you have a nice day. I'll see you later." I gave him the whole. I gave him.
Did you ever see him again, or did he disappear after that? Because you probably fucking killed him.
Have you heard from him? I was going to say, have you ever heard
Nope,
from him?
he doesn't want to talk about us. He never saw that guy again. Problem solved.
Taking care of the homeless since 2002. No, now that you mention it, I have not seen him since that.
Whoops.
Since his buddy, the guy that was with him that day was there 2 weeks later, and I stopped and I said, "Hey, I hope he enjoyed that." Enjoyed what? Never mind. Yeah, we have a mayor that decided that it was okayed for panhandlers, and then now that led to a homeless. So she actually wants to start building stuff so that they can be there, and their area is also like a free zone. It's like, everywhere that this has been tried, your town goes to shit, and yet this is what's happening in my small town.
How many people you think live in your town?
Well, our population for just the Duluth city limits is supposed to be 82,000.
My town, we've got like 100,000 people in the whole county. I would say half that probably live inside the city limits.
Do I live in the biggest city then?
So do you have any kind of a homeless problem?
In Milwaukee, only downtown, where they allow it. Go figure.
Yeah, that's just it. They allow it. She's talking about wanting to actually build homes for them so that they can come live for free. Well, everywhere that they set up their little encampments, nobody wants to go anywhere near it because it just turns into a shithole. I mean, do we need to go to San Francisco for people to understand that this is a bad idea?
San Francisco, Los Angeles. I mean, any large city in California has just turned to shit. Even Escondido, where my mom is.
Oh, Escondido, that used to be a nice part of that San Diego area.
I mean, it still is, and it ain't no San Diego.
It's north of there.
No, I think Escondido is south.
Oh, south. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Rancho Bernardo.
I could be wrong. It's same.
Yeah, Escondido South, southern part.
It's about 40 minutes away from like San Diego Airport. When they pick me up from the airport, it takes about 40 minutes to get back.
That's across town.
Well, yeah, that's
Traffic.
the other thing too. There's a lot of traffic, so you think, oh, 40 minutes away. No, not country driving. 40 minutes California driving, which means it's probably only 20 miles, 30 miles away or something. Because the traffic out there is just shit.
Yeah, when I was stationed out there, I lived in Rancho Bernardo, Mira Mesa, Kearney Mesa, and that girlfriend I dated at one time, she lived in that part of town where if you were pale, you didn't want to be there.
I tell you, if you see a black guy out in California, it's like, holy shit. I remember those. It was like, there's hardly any black people, at least in Southern California that I've seen. Like, they're there, but I mean, it's just white and Mexican, basically. And anti-eyed people of all forms. But not very many black people, at least in that area. You'll see one and you realize
Jamie, I've got a reloading question for you. If I specifically have 9mm plus P brass and I'm running tight group, whatever projectile, if I'm running 115s, 124s, 147s, if I'm still running tight group with 9mm plus P brass, how hot am I going to be able to load this and still be not beyond borderline, you think?
I think what you have is a 9mm plus P head stamp. I don't think there's a difference between plus P cases and regular cases.
I don't think there can be, because you can't increase the outside diameter and you can't increase the inside diameter, because then the bullet wouldn't fit. If you increase the outside diameter, it won't fit in the chamber. So I would think there shouldn't be a difference.
If you increase the length, you won't chamber it either. So
right.
You just gotta.
Doesn't it just come down to the chamber of your barrel and not necessarily the case? Because that's what's taking the brunt of the ignition and the pressure.
Well, specifically, yeah, Jamie, you're absolutely correct. It is actually it would be actually head stamped 9mm plus P. Now, if that gives me a little bit more meat, like down at the base, maybe. I don't know if there would be any thickness in the wall, or how they come up with that.
I think what
is
you're running into is you got that head stamp because that's manufactured ammo, and they have to tell you on that case that this is plus P, because a lot of guns and chambers can't handle that. So it's factory ammo, and if those were loose rounds and you didn't know that it was plus P with that factory powder that makes it plus P, but then when you reload it, it wouldn't matter because it's just a case. But when you purchase it, like, see if you can find brand new unfired brass that has a plus P stamp. You probably can't. But when it comes from the factory, they have to warn you that hey, this is plus P ammunition. That would be my guess.
No, like if you go to Starline Brass, they have regular 9mm Luger brass, and then they also have 9mm plus P.
Maybe it's just for the safety concerns, so that you're.
Yeah,
I wouldn't see. I don't think you can't make a different dimension. Maybe in the ass end, but then you're decreasing your case size, your case capacity.
But if you're decreasing the ignition chamber, you're also increasing your pressure.
Right. Which having too much powder can increase the pressure, and also having too little powder can also increase it to dangerous pressures. So I don't think they're going to be fucking with the geometry. I think it's, again, more so if you like you were reloading for
I think
yourself.
it's more so just the makeup of what's going on inside altogether.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Yeah,
Well,
and that's where my main curiosity lied, because if they're saying it's plus P, have they bulked up like the base of the base of the case? And so, if so, am I using the same amount of powder? Because now I've got less space in the case. I honestly don't know how that works. It's they've got it over on Starline Brass's website.
you could weigh
And so,
weigh a naked case that's not a standard case, and weigh a bunch of those plus P cases and see if there's any weight difference in between them. When you pop the primer out and all that, it's just an empty case. If there's any thickness in the wall or anything, you should see it in the weight of the cartridge. But I don't think you're going to find it. I mean,
So
try
have you seen any 9mm plus P load data?
not really, no. But I honestly hadn't looked.
I'm going to start looking for it. I want to know. I want to know what the difference is. I mean, 38 special plus P. I get it. I understand that.
All right, we're getting to that time. We're gonna start going through the room. Jamie, what you got, brother?
Not much. I'm just glad to be here. Thank you for having me and including me. And I didn't know Ed that well. I was just getting to know him when he passed, and kind of like Mr. Holster. And I'll say this: he had some nice eye candy over on his channel. So go check his channel out. Check us out Friday nights, 8 o'clock on the Georgia Shooting Connection channel. We'll talk about reloading some stuff. Y'all have a great week. Thanks for letting me be here.
Yep, appreciate you, brother. Daniel, what you got?
Hey, not much. Just like Jamie said, thanks for having me on here tonight with a couple guys I don't see very often, Chris and Ed, E-Bomi. I just do Ed from YouTube and the stuff, and being on the chats just like this. And what was going down and what happened there was all a shock to pretty much everybody then. But Ed, and all those there that knew him, thank you.
Awesome, thank you, brother. Eric, what you got, man?
Well, I don't like doing shows like this, and I love doing shows like this because, just like I said in the brewery review tonight, as long as we keep talking about our brothers and family members like Ed that we've lost, they will truly never be gone. And for me, I can't. I have Ed's magnet on my refrigerator, so it's like every single morning when I get my glass of water so I can take all my old people dying meds, I look directly at that. So I thank you for inviting me. I wish I felt better, but I made it 100% longer than I thought I would. It was probably because of Allen talking about 10mm. I had an infusion of energy, and it's nice hanging out with you guys. So it'd probably be nice to get together more often where we're not celebrating the loss of great people.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I appreciate you showing up, brother, and being here and bringing some memories with you and helping keep his memory alive. Chris, what you got?
I mean, it's hard to follow up what Eric just said. I think he kind of said it beautifully there. And I also agree with, him saying, I mean, it's good that these moments bring us together. That's for sure. It's an excuse to come together. And like Eric said, it's I don't like these either because, it brings back some hurt and pain and, missed feelings about the friends that you've lost. But it's also great because we get to reminisce about and tell stories about, some of the amazing people that we've met throughout our lives, and continue the friendships, that we continue to create on the crazy internet. So thanks everyone for spending time with us and continuing to be the good, positive Americans. We need more of those types of people, and we need to not be so quiet about it anymore because of obvious reasons, of all the loudmouths, the squeaky wheels out there that are getting all this grease, that we need to take away that oil can from them for sure. Random side thought, we were talking about ammo. I was just looking through my email. Here's 9mm free shipping for 30 cents a round. If anyone wants the link, I'll throw it in the chat, but there's some ammo for you.
All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate you showing up. Appreciate you being here and taking one for the team for Ed. That was very good. Very good. And I appreciate everyone out there. Appreciate you being here and rocking and rolling the chat for sure. And yeah, Eric said it pretty well, man. It's sad that sometimes this is the only time we see each other. But it's always good to remember those that we've lost, and we've lost way too many. Unfortunately, next week we'll be celebrating someone else we lost. Unfortunately. So with that being said, I'm going to throw it over to Allen to take us out right.
Oh man, great panel, man. I'm greatly blessed that all you gentlemen were able to join us tonight. Side chat's absolutely phenomenal. Thank you all. Like Eric said, you keep talking about these people, and they still live on through us. And there's just that's how that happens. That's how that happens. And because of Ed, I think I had this 10mm magazine loaded, and now one in the chamber. Woo!
Hit that like button.